the aerial arsenal of Imperial Japan. From the canvas-winged Claude to the razor-edged Frank, 22 fighters and carrier strike aircraft that shaped the Pacific War. These machines dominated the skies in 1941, then faced overwhelming Allied firepower by 1945. Navy and Army, carrier-based and land-based, each design tells the story of Japan's aerial warfare evolution. Imperial Japanese Navy fighters. Let's begin with the Imperial Japanese Navy's fighter aircraft. Mitsubishi, a 5M Claude. World's first carrier-based monoplane fighter, 1094 produced. Entered service 1937, dominated skies over China before Pearl Harbor. Nakajima Kotobuki, 41 engine, 785 horsepower, 270 miles per hour maximum, armed with two 7.7mm machine guns. Fixed landing gear, open cockpit, extremely maneuverable but obsolete by 1941, relegated to training and kamikaze missions in final years. Mitsubishi, a 6M0, 10,939 produced, most famous Japanese fighter. Nakajima Sakai, 21 engine, 1,130 horsepower, 350 miles per hour, two 20mm cannons, two 7.7mm machine guns. Exceptional range and maneuverability dominated Pacific 1941 to 1942. Lacked armor protection and self-sealing tanks. Allied tactics exploited these weaknesses from 1943 onward. Remained in production until 1945 despite obsolescence. Mitsubishi J2M Raiden, Jack. 476 produced, specialized interceptor. Mitsubishi Kase, 23 engine, 1,820 horsepower, 382 miles per hour, four 20mm cannons. Designed specifically to intercept B-29 bombers at high altitude. Excellent climb rate, compact design. Troubled development delayed service entry until 1944. Never achieved intended effectiveness against superfortress raids. Kawanishi N1 K-J Shiden, George. 1,435 produced, arguably Japan's best fighter. Nakajima Homare, 21 engine, 1,990 horsepower, 369 miles per hour, four 20mm cannons. Land-based version of floatplane fighter, could outturn American Hellcats. Arrived too late in insufficient numbers. Manufacturing quality declined severely in 1945. Respected by Allied pilots who encountered it. Kawanishi N1K Kyofu, Rex. 97 produced, floatplane fighter. Mitsubishi Kase, 14 engine, 1,460 horsepower, 304 miles per hour, two 20mm cannons, two 7.7mm machine guns. Designed to support island invasions lacking airfields. Excellent maneuverability despite float drag. Parent design of Shiden. Limited production, rarely encountered in combat. Nakajima, a 6M2-N Rufe. 327 produced, floatplane 0 variant. Nakajima Sakai, 12 engine, 940 horsepower, 270 miles per hour, two 20mm cannons, two 7.7mm machine guns. Large central float, wingtip floats. Operated from island bases without runways. Maintained Zero's agility despite reduced performance. Last floatplane fighter used operationally. Nakajima J1N Gekko, Irving. 479 produced, twin-engine night fighter. Two Nakajima Sakai 21 engines, 1,130 horsepower each, 315 miles per hour. Four 20mm cannons, upward firing arrangement. Originally reconnaissance aircraft, Converted to night fighter role 1943. Attacked B-29s from below. Moderately successful despite lack of radar. Imperial Japanese Army fighters. Moving on to the Imperial Japanese Army Air Force fighters. Nakajima Ki-27, Nate, 3,368 produced, early Army fighter. Nakajima Ha-1B engine, 710 horsepower, 292 miles per hour, two 7.7mm machine guns, fixed landing gear, highly maneuverable. Dominated Chinese skies 1937 to 1941. Hopelessly obsolete against modern Allied fighters. Withdrawn from frontline service by 1942. Used for training, kamikaze missions in final year. Nakajima Ki-43, Hayabusa, Oscar, 5,919 produced, most numerous Army fighter. Nakajima Ha-115 engine, 1,190 horsepower, 329 miles per hour. Two 12.7mm machine guns. Famous butterfly combat flaps for extreme maneuverability. Light armament, no armor protection. Burned easily when hit. Dominated early war, outclassed by 1943. Veteran pilots achieved remarkable success despite limitations. Nakajima Ki-44 Shoki, Tojo, 1,225 produced, interceptor role. Nakajima Ha-109 engine, 1,520 horsepower, 376 miles per hour. Four 12.7mm machine guns or two 20mm cannons. Designed for speed and climb rate over maneuverability. Effective against bombers, struggled in dogfights. Pilots initially disliked heavy wing loading. Difficult landing characteristics caused accidents. Nakajima Ki-84 Hayate, Frank, 3,514 produced, best Army fighter. Nakajima Ha-45 engine, 1,900 horsepower, 392 miles per hour. Two 20mm cannons, two 12.7mm machine guns. Fast, well-armed, maneuverable, armored. Matched P-51 Mustang performance. Manufacturing quality collapsed late war. Landing gear failures common. Potential never fully realized due to materials shortage. Kawasaki Ki-45 Toryu, Nick, 1,701 produced, twin-engine heavy fighter. Two Mitsubishi HA-102 engines, 1,080 horsepower each, 340 miles per hour. Various armament configurations, including 37mm cannon. Night fighter role with upward firing guns. Hunted B-29s in darkness. Moderately successful. Some used for ramming attacks against bombers. Kawasaki Ki-61 Hien, Tony, 3,159 produced, liquid-cooled fighter. Kawasaki Ha-40 engine, 1,175 horsepower, 368 miles per hour. Two 20mm cannons, two 12.7mm machine guns. German DB-601 design license. Fast, heavily armored for Japanese standards. Engine reliability problems plagued service. Often mistaken for German or Italian fighters by Allies. Kawasaki K1 100 396 produced, radial engine conversion. Mitsubishi HA-112-2 engine, 1,500 horsepower, 360 miles per hour. Two 20mm cannons, two 12.7mm machine guns, created by fitting radial engine onto Ki-61 airframe, resulted in one of Japan's most reliable, effective fighters. Excellent performance despite stopgap origin. Too few, too late. Mitsubishi K1-46. Dina, 1,742 produced, reconnaissance turned fighter. 2 Mitsubishi HA-102 engines, 1,080 horsepower each, 375 miles per hour. Initially unarmed, later versions carried 37mm cannon, aerodynamic design, years uncatchable by Allied fighters. Speed superiority disappeared 1943, converted to high-altitude interceptor, ground attack roles late war. Carrier dive and torpedo bombers. Next, the carrier-based strike aircraft. HED-3 8-valve, 1,495 produced, primary dive bomber. Mitsubishi Kinsei 54 engine, 1,300 horsepower, 267 miles per hour. 2 7.7mm forward guns, 1 rear gun, 550-pound bomb, fixed landing gear, elliptical wings. Sank more Allied warships than any Axis aircraft. 80% accuracy against British ships 1942. Obsolete by 1943, withdrawn from carriers. Land-based operations continued until war's end. Yokosuka D4Y Suisei, Judy, 2,038 produced, fast dive bomber. Aichi Atsuta 32 engine, 1,400 horsepower, 360 miles per hour. 2 7.7mm guns, 1,230-pound bomb. Liquid-cooled inline engine for speed. Structural weaknesses caused dive accidents. Reconnaissance variant served effectively. Bomber version struggled against Allied fighters. Used extensively in kamikaze attacks, 1945. Aichi B-7A Ryusei, Grace, 114 produced, carrier attack bomber. Nakajima Homare, 23 engine, 1,870 horsepower, 352 miles per hour. 2 20mm cannons, 1 13mm rear gun, torpedo or 1,760-pound bomb. Large, powerful, dual-role capability. Development delays meant carriers already lost. Operated from land bases only. Impressive design arrived too late. Nakajima B-5N Kate, 1,149 produced. Torpedo bomber of Pearl Harbor. Nakajima Sakai 11 engine, 1,000 horsepower, 235 miles per hour. 1 7.7mm rear gun, torpedo, or 3 550-pound bombs. Obsolete by Western standards, flown by elite crews. Devastating at Pearl Harbor, Coral Sea, Midway. Defenseless against modern fighters. Replaced by B-6N from 1943. Nakajima B-6N Tenzan, Jill, 1,268 produced, improved torpedo bomber. Mitsubishi Kasei 25 engine, 1,850 horsepower, 299 miles per hour. 1 13mm rear gun, torpedo, or 1,760-pound bomb. Powerful, heavily armed successor to Kate. Engine reliability problems plagued service. By entry date, most carriers already sunk. Limited impact despite capabilities. Special attack weapons. Finally, the specialized weapons of desperation. Yokosuka MXY-7 Ohka, 852 produced, rocket-powered suicide weapon. 3 solid-fuel rockets, 1,764 pounds thrust, 403 miles per hour terminal dive, 2,645-pound warhead, dropped from G-4M Betty bomber, human-guided missile. Mother aircraft vulnerable during approach. Most shot down before launch. Those that reached targets caused devastating damage. Allies called it Baka, Japanese for fool. Aichi M6A Seiran 28 produced, submarine-launched bomber. Aichi Atsuta 30 engine, 1,400 horsepower, 295 miles per hour. 1 13mm rear gun, 1,760-pound bomb or torpedo. Stored in waterproof hangar on I-400 submarines. Designed to bomb Panama Canal, American cities. Wings, floats folded for storage. War ended before operational deployment. Remarkable engineering achievement. From Claude's open cockpit to Seiran's submarine launch, these 22 aircraft chronicle Japan's Pacific Air War, The Zero and Val dominated 1941-1942 through maneuverability and pilot skill. Frank and George arrived too late in insufficient numbers, with declining quality. Common threads throughout: exceptional agility traded for armor, long range traded for protection, increasingly desperate measures as Allied superiority became overwhelming. These machines carried skilled pilots into impossible odds. Many never returned. Their legacy remains written in the skies over Pearl Harbor, Midway, Guadalcanal, and the home islands. Superior at war's start, obsolete at its end, outproduced 10-1 by American industry. The story of Japanese air power in metal and blood.